Welcome back to another episode. This is Layla, and today we are discussing why women have the power to create and destroy men. This is the type of information, by the way, you're not going to find in any books, any history books. This is basically the knowledge that has been hidden from women because it's very powerful, and I would say most women are unaware about who they are, about what they can do and what they can create, for a good reason, because religion has been, and not just religion, politics as well. They both have been working really hard under the scene to make sure that women are confused and don't know who they are. And when you control women's perception about who they are, you basically control them. And this is how powerful women are. If a woman thinks she's not powerful or something has more power over her, like a god, like a male god or something, this is going to be her reality, because that's how powerful our mind is, you know? So women are basically portals between the spiritual and the material realm. And with their womb space, they can basically create anything. The reason why I've created so many subliminals when it comes to the sacral chakra, the womb, is for that main reason, basically, because once you harness that power, you can create your reality, you can manifest anything. So we have to understand that when it comes to the energetics of that, women represent darkness. So the reason why there has been propaganda against darkness since, the beginning of time, since literature actually appeared. I'm going to make an episode specifically about that, about the goddess lecture. But since literature was created, darkness has been under this, I would say, propaganda, where it has been deemed as, bad, demonic, right? Because that's how you control a woman's self-esteem and perception. If she thinks she's, her gifts are demonic, or if she thinks that her psychic abilities are, something to be afraid of, then obviously you're going to be able to control her. So women represent the darkness, the dark aspect of the cosmos, which is basically the entire freaking cosmos. I don't know if you notice, but when it's at night and you look up, it's all black up there, And so, and because we live inside the matrix, which, by the way, the word matrix means womb. A lot of people are unaware of that. So we live inside a giant womb. When a woman connects with her own womb, she connects with the energy of the cosmos within her. That's what Christ consciousness is, or like the God frequency, or whatever the fuck. They're all changing the names, right? They're putting all these like masculine names. But no, it's the women and whatever. Like they can say whatever the fuck they want. A lot of women are being awakened about this truth. And the man is basically the opposite, right? So the man represents the light. It represents the illusion. This is why men they can have a connection with Mother Nature, but usually they're bounded by their senses. That's why it takes a lot of time for a man to manifest something, because they have to use time, space, energy. They have to harvest the feminine energy as well to build their business. That's why it takes them a lot of time and just to gather all the resources. So for a man, it might take like a decade to create something. And for a woman, the same thing, like it could take her like less than 90 days. That's like the huge difference. So when it comes to the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, that's actually a good representation. So the subconscious mind is the feminine. It's the darkness, right? It represents a dark matter. So when it comes to space, for example, or just like the universe, like 96% of matter is dark matter. So the light is literally an illusion. And so the man, I would say the masculine energy represents the light, the illusion, the conscious mind, the egoic mind, which is 5% or like 4% of the universe, basically, or what we can see with our eyes. So when it comes to creating and destroying, this is what the dark feminine is. She's the ultimate power. She can create, so she can give birth to a man, a human. She can give birth to a business, a project, anything, art, right? It's all coming from the feminine energy. And when it comes to men, when they're doing that process, for example, they're creating a business, or they're creating I don't know, maybe a musician is creating some music or like a song, some art, whatever. They have to harness the feminine energy, and they usually do it subconsciously. Like no one wakes up and they're like, you know what, let me just harvest some feminine energy today. It's usually something that they do just, it's their intuition basically, which is why a lot of men use women to build their businesses. And it's not like directly. Sometimes it's just being in her presence. When a man is in the presence of a woman, depending on her level of consciousness, he might be able to harness her energy. And this is probably something you've noticed, like when you start dating a guy, his income, especially if he's already like a provider, obviously, like if he's broke, like he's just gonna drag you back there with him. But if he's a provider, he's already a little bit successful, you're gonna notice that he's gonna become more successful once he's gonna start that committed relationship. So this is basically the energetic principle that's happening behind the scene, that's happening subconsciously. This is why women have to be with providers, because it keeps a balance energetically. And of course, she has to be her own priority, because if she's just giving her energy, especially if she has children now, because that's just something that we do naturally when we have kids, we just give our energy to them. But if you don't have a provider or providers, ideally, who give you, their energy, which comes in the form of money, because money is energy, then this is how a woman is extremely depleted and exhausted. It creates a lot of health issues, autoimmune diseases, weight gain that cannot be lost, like the cortisol belly, like the cortisol puffy face. Like it just creates a lot of hormonal imbalances basically. So now women, like I said, have the power to create men, but they can also decide to when I say destroy, I don't mean it in a way to like torture them, but like what I'm saying, that they have the power to make them exist. So a lot of times women, some women are wasting so much time and energy just talking to a man, like arguing with a man, talking to a man. Instead, the best thing to do, if a man is not, respectful, he's not a provider, he's not, up to your standards, by ignoring them, you basically destroy him, basically, because he needs your energy to exist. So when women start to ignore men, you're going to notice, I'm sure you know at least one man who's like single, he's very old, right? Maybe has a lot of money, or like he built a career for himself. There's a lot of them, by the way. These men are alone, right? In their big houses sometimes. And they look so bad. Like they just look absolutely depleted from energy. Like they look like, I'm not trying to be mean here, but they're very wrinkly. Like they just don't have like vitality anymore. They don't have like this feminine life force. because that's what the feminine energy does. She's also the energy, it's the energy of Mother Nature. So it's a constant cycle of birth and rebirth and death, right? That she goes through every month through her menstrual cycle. So women have the power to, even if she goes to like this horrible situation, maybe she dated a broke guy, learned her lesson, and then you're gonna see her like years later, or even a few months later, if she really started focusing on herself and leveling up and really, put all her focus and energy back to herself, you're gonna notice she's gonna have a glow up, because it's literally her body like just using her energy and connection to source, like direct connection to source, not like men who have to like harvest it from other women. It creates a glow up, it creates a rebirth. So that's what it is. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say to create and destroy men, which is also the illusion. Women have the power as well to transcend circumstances. That's why we have high priestesses like I am, who, we have the ability to see beyond the veil, to connect the dots as well. And when we say something, when we speak, we create our own reality. And we can also bless and curse other people. And that's a really powerful gift, by the way, that has to be used with really high integrity, because, let's just be honest here. Like, we're not going to curse all the men that needs to be cursed, because like it's never going to end, right? So it's best to just ignore the ones that we don't need, and unless you see some like crazy stuff. Like if I cross path with some sort of abuser or like pedophile, like trust me, I'm cursing that man. Like he's probably not going to be alive like very soon. But that's it. Like for me, that's just like the little like part where that this is a bit extreme, but this is when I use my powers to like curse a man, or if he's a danger to like himself or society, like I freeze him. But that's just one types of spells that I do. But in general, what I do is I focus on the men that are very generous to me, and I bless them, and it's immediate blessings. Like when a woman blesses a man, he's going to start receiving more clients. He's going to start winning at the casino a lot. Just like random good luck, and that's the beautiful part of being, a woman or high priestess, is that you also have the power to, make people happy. But of course, you have to do it from a place of overflow. You have to focus on yourself first. You have to put yourself on that pedestal and, bless your own freaking life first. Bless your kids, right? You want to protect them as well with dark energy. You want to do that as well with your animals, with nature around you. That's the connection. That's the power that you have. And yeah, that's what's been hidden for a very long time from women. And it's very easy to activate because it's a knowing. It's not even something that you have to learn or like, obviously there are like different processes. Like I do like a special path of initiations, the path of initiations that I went through, by connecting with Mother Nature and Source. It wasn't like a physical like mentor. Like I was mentored during my sleep. But anyway, there are many different ways to get to this path, basically the path of the priestess. But it's a very beautiful path. And of course, there's a lot of moments where there's a lot of alchemy and transmutation that has to happen because there's a lot of shadows and tricksters. But once you're on the other side, it's a very powerful place to be. And just know, I'm going to end with that. One woman that uses dark energy and knows her divinity in darkness is more powerful than 1 million women. That's the equivalent. Like that's how powerful it is. So when she manifests something, it's like 1 million women coming together trying to manifest something. That's how crazy it is. So of course that's the type of knowledge that has been hidden, and not just hidden. At some point, even the witch hunt, that was the whole point. They wanted to unalive all the women that were starting to realize their divinity, starting to realize their power through witchcraft. And that's what it is, because witchcraft is basically connecting with the elements of nature. It's not anything demonic, right? And yeah, that's what scared a lot of men. And unfortunately, millions of women were unalive during that period of time, which created this huge trauma wound within a lot of women's DNA. So a lot of times it's a subconscious wound. That's why listening to subliminals, and the ones that I do regulate the nervous system as well, and they do transcendence. So it's like a combination of all these techniques together. So you can clear all those past lives as well. So that's it for today's episode. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.